Yo, it's your boy Blaise McCoy. Welcome to another Get Blazed interview. And no, it has nothing to do with drugs. Jeez. Get Blazed is just the experience of hanging out with your boy Blaise, shooting the shit, talking about, oh, there goes my monetization, cussing in the first 5 minutes. Way to go, Blaise. Well, we're bringing people together. That's what we're doing here on these interviews. I've done a bunch of them. We'll show you what I've done and what's coming up soon in the Get Blazed interview series. I want to welcome all the people that are hanging out already here. We got a ton of berserkers in the house. I see ya. We got the V Homies channel here. I see ya. And I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping in, popping in, hanging out with your boy Blaise, whether it's 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, the whole damn show. It's much appreciated. So as much as we're going to talk about me and how I got on YouTube and some of the things that I do, and we're going to talk about Mr. Valhalla and what he does, because he's got the formula, folks. Just like I've been telling you, there's a common thread with all the people that I've been interviewing. Great people. I mean, I'm meeting people I never would have met and finding out their successes, their failures, what they like to do, what they brought them onto YouTube, what makes them do what they do. And we're going to get right into it. But first, we have to thank the people that make it possible, and that's you in the chat. We got Theo, Sam Eagle. Oh, there you go. There he goes. We got people. We got berserkers flooding the Blaised Radio Network. Yes, I don't know. Some dude named Blaised Radio. Get him out of here. Some guy named Valhalla Sports Talk. Get him out of here. We got Patty in the house. There she is. Good to see you, Patty. Thank you. Thank you. We try. Butterfly, sugar, baby. What's up? Butterfly in the house. I used to have a cat that looked just like that, an orange one. That's right. Hiking Combat in the building. Welcome to the show. You're tuned into Blaised Radio. Man, so many great people. Oh, what's the odds that odds will be here? I guess they are 100%. Good to see you, odds. Great to see each and every one of you guys and gals, all you dudes and dolls out there. Flame Legends in the house. A lot of familiar names I see as I watch Valhalla Sports Talk, and I've watched them for years grow. Actually, there's a little connection some of you berserkers might not know between our two channels, but I'll definitely show you that soon as well. Logan's in the house. There he is. Good to see you, Logan. Welcome. Wally. Good to see you, Wally. All right, now I love unique YouTube names. So this is Longy Raider. Yeah, I call you Longy. I like the 8 in there. That's creative. I dig it. D-Way in the building, not to be confused with D-Wade. They used to play for the Miami Heat. Big shout out. Hey, keep those thumbs up coming. You guys are rocking, man. There was berserkers flooding this chat and hitting the like button before we even went live, and that's amazing. I always tell people, man, whether you're a subscriber or a moderator or a member of the channel, loyalty's currency, man. Hitting that thumbs up, sharing it out, that means so much to us streamers. So whether you can contribute, that's one way to contribute, just showing up in the chat and hanging out with us. The man, the myth, the legend himself. Yes, sir. He's here. I'm going to make you wait for him, though. I'm going to make you wait. Good things come to those who wait. So sit back, relax, wait a few minutes. We'll get to that. We'll do some shameless promotion for things that we do. I got, let's see, I got 2 Lakers jerseys up here for my man. So I got a couple of them. We'll go over that as well as a bunch of other stuff. But just to give you a little bit of background on how I got to YouTube and why I'm doing interviews. There's been a couple times I've been in people's Discord and stuff, and they don't know who are they. Who's this Blaze guy? Why is he doing interviews and he only has 2,000 subscribers? What's he doing? Who do you think he is? I think I'm just some schmuck that used to do interviews for 20 years. And I figured since I'm on YouTube, why not interview people here on how they got to YouTube, why they're on YouTube, what they do on YouTube, and what they like. So, I have a marketing degree and I'm finally using it. Yes, Triple B loves those shameless promotions. Shameful sometimes. I've worked for 3 major corporations in retail. Champ Sports. I was a manager at Champ Sports. And as you can see, I really love sports memorabilia. A little bit crazy about it. I sold computers during the PC boom in the early 2000s with Gateway County Country Computers. The CALs, if you guys remember the CALs and the CAL boxes for Gateway Computers. So very aware of technology, social media, and everything that comes along with it. Also was a manager for Verizon Wireless. So I sold cell phones to everybody and their grandmother after everyone said, I don't need no internet on my phone. And then, that's a little Pennsyltucky. I'm here in West Virginia, Pennsylvania, southwestern PA. So we got a little bit of everything here. But yes, I sold cell phones to everybody. I was a cell phone guy for forever. And then sports collector, memorabilia collector. I've been a DJ. I've been a drummer. I was in a rap group. I was in a dance group when I was younger. I did all kind of weird stuff. But a lot of health issues made me work from home. A lot of people had that issue. So now I work from home. I'm doing the things that I love. I'm broadcasting on YouTube. And trust me, I'm only at 2,000 subscribers plus. And I don't make a lot of money off of this, but every bit that you guys give as far as members and stuff go right back into the channel so we can grow it. New PC, new lighting, green screen, all that good stuff. But the content's what really matters. Whether you have all this rigmarole, You got to have the personality. You got to have thick skin. And you got to have fun with the people like this guy, Mitch Kowalski. Mitch Kowalski, my boy from the Hardcore Sports Network. Shout out to you. The biggest Orange Cassidy fan in the world. Good shout out to my man, Mitch. I'm a ball buster. If I'm busting your balls and jagging on you, then that's, I like you. I'm good with you. Hey, bald head, big ears, big nose. You've been messing with me for all my life. I don't care. I can deal with it. That's the thick skin part of it. Marley Good, the burnout is in the house. Just always remind people, the Blaised Radio has nothing to do with marijuana and weed. I mean, smoke them if you got them. If that's your thing, good. But Get Blazed is all about the experience of getting blazed with your boy Blaise. Those that call me Blaised Radio, I get it. It's on YouTube. That's my channel name. But my real friends call me Blaise. Drop the D, as I like to say. No, we're not PG. We're going to have fun tonight. We're going to Wang Chung tonight and all that stuff. So I guess I should give a warning if we're not PG. We're not going to get too crazy with the F-bombs and craziness, but we're here to be ourselves. And sometimes I say shit. Deal with it.
The following is rated TV MALSV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
No nudity. No, there will be no nudity. Nobody wants to see that. You saw my bald head. That's about all the nudity you're getting. So let's take a look at some of these interviews. I've reached out. One thing I was always, I guess, a pat on my back is I was always good at networking. And whether it's a 80-year-old person or an 8-year-old kid, I can get along. I can find a way. So I've reached into so many communities here on YouTube to try to bring them together and spread the love. I mean, we've always learned that no matter if you like someone or don't, you might learn from them. So it's always good to pick the brains of those around you. Now, maybe, I don't know. We'll have to see if Valhalla is going to start his OnlyFans. This might be the beginning of it tonight. No. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. See, you guys are all ready to have fun. So, and I dig that. So as a musician, as a DJ, drummer, I love music. This is just a StreamYards version, very scaled down. I could go OBS with a lot of crazy stuff. And we will talk about that with Valhalla because he does an amazing job at visuals. And I'm a very visual person. Presentations are always very attractive. So, and this guy's got the number on that. He knows how to make it look professional and creative, innovative. And I dig that a lot. That's very attractive. So this channel was never about me, not about my face, even though I'm blabbing about myself here for the first 15 minutes. No camera. Blaised Radio is supposed to be about radio, just me calling commentary. I'm not a gamer. I play very basic games, old school. I mean, I've shown this a million times. This is my speed of a game. I mean, one button Atari, baby. But I'm old school. I'll be 50 in August. We're going to throw a big birthday party for me involving all you guys. It won't really be about me. It'll be about you. But, I didn't want to come on camera. But once I started to grow an audience and realized I had reach, I wanted to bring people on, talk with them, learn from them, have fun with it. So I brought in my wrestling friends and we do the Wrestle Sense podcast. We now have our own channel. That grew as I knew it would because those guys are hilarious. No, Selena, you can be whoever you want. Don't be yourself. But where was I? Legion of Dork. Yes, we'll talk a little bit about that. My podcast of retro games and video games, movies, TV, all that 80s stuff that we love to reminisce about. Blaze Cards and Collectibles. I've opened packs of cards on here. I do a side business on eBay with that as well. And my Red Zone play-by-play is where I've met a lot of these guys, and I've wanted to do the same thing, but I only like to do Red Zone. Like I got a lot of credit for people who do 3 or 4 games in a row every day, 4 or 5 times a week doing play-by-play. And I've always said, if you're not aware of what these watch-alongs are, it's modern-day radio, people. If you don't like the commentary, like I hate Chris Collinsworth. He's terrible. So if he's on my TV, I'm turning someone else on. So watch-alongs, if you want alternate commentary or you can't watch the game. I tell the story all the time about the Red Zone stream I was doing. And a guy said, hey, I'm in the military. I'm in Germany. I can't watch my teams. Thank you so much for doing the Red Zone. Now I can see the score and hear you make a fool out of yourself about it. Yes, the Legion of Dork. We are going to bring the Legion of Dork back, and we're going to do some commercials and stuff. I got to get my boy Super Nacho healthy again. We'll bring him back. We'll get Super Nacho back for some of that. Target's 2600 long. You got it right, brother. There's the WrestleSense page. We got our own YouTube page. If you're into pro wrestling, every Thursday night at 8 p.m. we talk wrestling. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the interviews I've done. The Get Blaised Talk Show, interviewing content creators from all over YouTube. And we started out with two guys I met from Detroit. Just because they're from Detroit, I won't hold it against them. But Trox and Grid grew their channels tremendously, just doing NFL content seasonally. Talking to them, it was fun because I liked how they engage with their chat. Very cordial with the chat while they're live, not ignoring their chat. And good dudes. I mean, Grid actually offered to drive halfway and bring me a damn PlayStation 5 once. That's a story I never told because we didn't have them around here. Me and Trox have a lot in common. We've talked offline, online about why we're on YouTube, how we're on YouTube, but it was a great conversation. These are all on a playlist if you want to check any of them out too. Similar that we do, the structure of this show is very similar. So all the interviews are much alike, but I do tweak it out a little bit for different people. Big Daddy Beard, I'm not a gamer. He is a gamer. This guy is he's a digital creator like I am, a graphic designer, which I got a lot of respect for that. That goes a long way as a content creator, doing thumbnails, setting up your own channel, promoting your own channel. And Big Daddy Beard, he's always fun when he's doing the games too. And he does tons of different games. Big shout out to Michael Lowe in the building. Welcome in. Keep those thumbs up coming, man. You guys are rocking it on the board and in the chat as well. Keep the conversation going. You're going to meet a lot of great people here as well. Well, green thumb, maybe a yellowish green thumb. I do have a gardening stream. I think, the only content creator on YouTube who does pro wrestling and gardening. I just like to try to grow food. Self-sustainability is fun. My grandmother, God rest her soul, was always big into gardening and had a huge garden. So that was my emphasis for that. I got a lot of stuff dying out there, but just a little bit here and there. And with the stomach issues that I have, there's a lot I can't eat, but I enjoy just chilling in the garden and hanging out with you guys. So Big Daddy Beard was the second interview I did. That was a blast. They're always a blast. Wrestling Days, I always promote him from the UK. Over 200,000 subscribers. This dude is just amazing. Started with toy hunts, going to toy stores and finding toys and talking about the different wrestling figures and things like that. And his channel just took off when he did watch-alongs and stuff. Wrestling Days is just amazing. A really cool guy. And it was hard for me to dip into some of these guys that get really big on YouTube because a lot of people, once they get quote unquote big on YouTube, they change. Most of them. This guy's a real dude. He was very cool. And I'm only going to bring people on here that I think will get along with the community and hang out and do things the way we do it around here. There's a lot of toxic communities out there. And if you think all of YouTube is toxic, you're just in the wrong places. Jackknife Finnegan. He's a gamer, big GTA guy. I've seen him climb over to now 100,000 subscribers. Like I started around the same time a lot of these guys did or earlier, but I never really pushed for subscribers. I didn't do content every day as much as I could because of many reasons, but I got a lot of respect for those who pump out videos every day, crushing it with the shorts and stuff, which is a good way, and promoting all over social media. Jackknife is hilarious. The dude will get you laughing, get you fired up. Let's fucking go, boys. He is just an entertainer. He's got great stories. And Jackknife, if you enjoy GTA and stuff like that, he's hilarious. Big wrestling fan, too. I love shooting the shit about wrestling with him. Let's see who else we got next. Mitch Koski was just in the chat. Mitch Koski and Bird Gang. Yeah, I dipped into the Lions. Now the Eagles. Notice they're all NFC, no AFC. I'm the Steeler fan. All AFC over here, boy. And unless you're a Cleveland Brown fan, then I got my Cleveland Browns logo ready for you guys. There's my brownies. Speaking of brownies, Mitch Koski loves brownies. And part of the Hardcore Sports Network, I enjoy doing shows with them as well. Every Wednesday now, I'm on a basketball podcast with Mitch and the boys over there. And I've got some breaking news about the Hardcore Sports Network in just a minute. Big shout out to Bird Gang 31 as well. Big shout out to them for their team making it to the Super Bowl last year, right? People get bitchy. You didn't win the Super Bowl, though. Well, there's only 2 teams that make it and 1 that win. So the other 20-some teams are shit out of luck. So props to the Eagles for making it to that far. Leo and Wonston, the House of X, you guys know all kinds of brownies, Mike. All kinds of brownies. Not the funny ones I think you're thinking of, though. Not the special brownies. Uh, greeting from, California knows how to party. You know that. Welcome to the show. You're tuning to Blaised Radio from all over the country, all over the world. I appreciate it. Leo and Wanston from New York City. I can't wait to visit them someday. Give them a big hug. They do tons of different content here on YouTube, 3 different monetized channels. They interviewed me a year before I interviewed them. So kind of got me thinking I can do these interviews and share best practices with people out there too. So big shout out to Leo and Wanston of the House of X Entertainment. I got emotional. I cried a little bit on that one. I didn't cry on this one only because these 2 guys are beating me up, browbeating me. And, you know, these guys will give it to you straight. Pete Wall, Vince McCham, 2 of my wrestling buddies. Pete, as much as he hates to admit it, is one of the reasons that I came onto YouTube, because I saw him doing the wrestling video game and doing wild commentary. And I thought he reminded me of Wolfman Jack. And I was like, hey, if you remember Wolfman Jack from the old radio days, wild, crazy, and all energetic. And Vince McCham, he does amazing Dusty Rhodes impersonation, Jesse Ventura. I mean, spot on. Jim Ross, like old school wrestling. Vince McCham's been doing YouTube for almost 20 years. Doing what we do in the EFED world there. And I'll break into that a little bit here and tell you a little bit more about what I do on the channel for those that are new as well. Bringing people together, having fun. That's kind of the summary of what I like to do on this channel. Pittsburgh, my man Anthony, a man that I met, didn't really know we had connections. He's a former pro wrestler here in the indie scene in Pittsburgh, moved to Los Angeles with a grading company for sports cards. He did a lot of Disney content. He does a lot of collectible content. Got to meeting a few times. I made a big LeBron collage for him because he's from Pittsburgh and he's a Cleveland fan. What's up with that? Well, I'm sitting here wearing a Philadelphia hat. We don't have basketball here in Pittsburgh. So Cleveland or Philly, take your pick at your closest. So I had to. But when I was a kid, Celtics, Lakers, Knicks, Sixers, that was the NBA when I was a kid, man. But everyone that loved Dr. J, a Bird and Magic, I'm sorry, I loved the Doc. Where's he at? There's Doc over there in the corner. So I am a Sixer fan at heart. Got to pick one team around here as much as I love basketball. It's my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. Now, I'm not going to do my old school Curtis Blow impersonation. So the last interview we did, Josh and Rocha from the Sports Fury. Boy, another watch along where they're pumping out streams every day. Football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, UFC, you name it. These 2 guys were fun to interview. If you missed that one, that was the last one. Also, I don't like to harp on how many subscribers people have, because great content creators could have 100, 200, 300, 400 subscribers too. But over 200,000 subscribers is amazing. These dudes are fun. They were entertaining. They're big wrestling fans too. So we talked a little bit about wrestling too. And that was the last interview we did here on the channel. Season 2. Last year was season 1. I brought it back this year for some interviews. We're going to bring Valhalla Sports on here soon and talk to him in just a moment. I told you I was going to make you wait for him. But can't wait. Lakers, Vikings, Dodgers, or Doyers, as some of you guys like to say out there in the West, and the LA Kings. Great content, always fun and entertaining. We're going to bring him on soon. But I want to break some news about future interviews too. My man James Sargent, salute to you with CSWA, is in the building. Keep those thumbs up coming, guys. You guys know what it's all about. Butterfly will let you know. She'll yell at you if you don't hit the thumbs up too. So stay in line. So after I interview today with Valhalla, we're going to take 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'll be back to interview Pete McDevitt. Pete McDevitt, I just met probably within the last year. He does a lot of watch-along content as well as Disney content. So I'm really interested about picking his brain, about his story, about his journey through YouTube as well. So that's going to be fun. I plan on learning a lot, because as much as I love Disney, I really love people who put out Disney content, because you can live vicariously through them, see all the attractions, go on the rides, see, the sights and the sounds of Disney without paying $1 million and waiting in line for 4 hours. So shout out to the Disney content creators out there too. And Pete McDevitt, will definitely talk with him. Butterfly knows the man of the hour, Valhalla. It might be an hour before I let him on here. and Butterfly knows everybody. See, yeah, I'm just learning some of the story. I can't wait to talk a little bit more about it. And that's the thing. just the demeanor of these content creators. The story is something else, because I always say you never know what someone is dealing with or what they've dealt with before. Everyone has their crosses to bear. Everyone has their story. So I don't like to harp on the things I deal with, because I deal with health issues every day. But everyone out there deals with something. But I just want to give everyone what I like to call escapism. A couple hours to get away from that and just have fun. Speaking of having fun, 2 weeks from July 23rd in my interview with Pete, I am bringing back Mitch Kosky with a bunch. This one's going to be hard to do. We got 7 dudes I'm going to interview all at once, members of the Hardcore Sports Network. There's about 40 different YouTube channels in a Hardcore Sports Network. And I told myself I'd never get involved in a network with a bunch of channels, because there's going to be ones you don't agree with, ones you don't get along with. Then you're drug into that group because that person said this, and maybe you're part of that group. And I've seen all these groups implode of people that try to bring a bunch of channels together. But what I've tried to do is bring channels together in my own unique way. And unfortunately, it took a very sad story to bring me into the Hardcore Sports Network. And it was the passing of our friend Jeff Turner. Jeffrey was the epitome of what a content creator should be. Energetic, he was a great listener. He let people give their opinion without knocking them down. And he was all over. He did 3 or 4 or 5 shorts a day, growing his channel. So rest in peace, my man, Jeff. Always, it's for you. Corey Quinn is in the building. So I'll be bringing on my man, AK. You see him as Eagles Uncensored, Mitch Kosky, Philly Halftime, Earl Cole, Coach Ed Gladney, Further AM and Next Shift for an interview. We're also going to do a fantasy football draft with some of them as well that day. So that'll be fun, picking their brain, bringing on a whole crew of them. And it's going to be fun. These dudes are amazing. So that is where we're at. That's going to be August 6th. And it's the night after SummerSlam too, so we'll have some wrestling to talk about. So I'm not going to bring him on yet. Going to make you wait another minute. To give you an idea of the chaos that I deal with, and talk a little bit about Jeff, the Valhalla Sports Talk. This is my setup when I do an eFed story. I always showed you guys before. I have Post-it notes everywhere. I got 4 or 5 streams open. It's a very scaled down, cheap setup, but at the same time, I've done everything I can to get a setup where, I have all the information in front of me. My memory sucks. Like I said, I'm going to be 50 soon. I don't remember shit sometimes. Hey, Gav is in the building. There's my boy. What's happening, my friend? But enough about me. I just wanted to give a little bit of background to some of the people who are new to the channel about what we do. No, actually, I will go to a little more stuff about me right after this, because I'm going to make you watch commercials. And we're going to bring Valhalla Sports on, the Mad Viking. You guys might remember him on this channel here. But I met him as I was perusing all these different communities. And sure, there's a bunch that rubbed me the wrong way. But when I saw Jeff for the first time, just having fun on his stream, shooting the shit with everybody in the chat, it's attractive to me in a totally heterosexual way. I loved what he did on his channel. He had so much fun, and he's created an amazing community over there on his channel. So I want to honor that. Like I said, Dodgers, Kings, Lakers, Vikings, but in general, just a great sports fan. And I respect that. Does NASCAR as well. He's doing a NASCAR stream later on tonight. He's got his own line of swag and merchandise. So, through his channel, through his Twitter, check out what he does. Like I said, he has the formula, with merchandising, with the thumbnails, with the advertising, the promotion, the visuals on his screen, and the attitude, the personality that attracts people to your channel. The Valhalla Viking. You guys remember him? That is Jeff, the Valhalla Viking from Valhalla Sports Talk. We brought him on as a character a couple years ago. He wanted a big Viking character. So, like I said, I create characters, or other people create their characters for the wrestling game. We let computer versus computer fight each other. So I talked to Valhalla, and I was like, sure, let's bring on a character of yours for a while. It was a blast. Greg John is in the house. There's my man. What is up? Shout out to you, my friend. So the Valhalla Viking, that's one way that we really got to know each other a little better. Little DMs here and there. Get your character created. Rare photo, Jeff working out. There you go. Yeah, I told you no nudity, but look how ripped he is underneath that Vikings jersey. How about it? But we created a character together, a big Viking character from Valhalla, of course. And I created these digital cards. I'll be releasing 6 more of them with active wrestlers now later on today. So if you see Nightbot, I call him Johnny 5, if you guys remember the Short Circuit movie back in the day. So Johnny 5, my Nightbot, will drop some links for my social media. Feel free to follow your boy Blaise. My DMs are always open for anything. No OnlyFans. Yeah. So big shout out to I like when we named his up in here. So one of his moves was up in here. You guys, the Skull Slam till Valhalla was his finisher, and of course, General Thor's Pride was his submission. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. We've had so many characters come and go, and it's like, right now I had to trim the roster because I have over 90 people on the roster, and I'm so blessed to have people from everywhere. But it was fun to bring on some of these people that you see in the interviews had characters on my show every once in a while. Here's a shot of the show. The Dodgers with a big win last night, and 10-5, I popped in there. We were shooting the shit, and he has so much fun. Look at the visual, guys. It's unique. It's engaging. It tells you, what's going on in the chat. He does fabulous work with OBS. He has a monkey that comes in and does work for him. He's got a COO that works behind the scenes. But Jeff does a lot of it himself. And that's why we were just talking about before we came on the air. Dude, I should have took a screenshot of the monkey too. I love when the monkey comes on, he's on his phone helping you out. I think that's just an excuse for you to go take a poop though, but that's all right. but the dude has uniqueness. When I do those red zone streams, the one thing I don't like is it's hard to tell the scores because I have 8 or 9 scores up there during red zone. Here you can tell what inning it is, what the outs are, the score, who's playing, how many people are in the chat, and give you shout outs on the bottom, the people who are contributing. It's just so engaging, and he does fabulous work with his cutscenes, with everything in OBS. I dabble in OBS a little. I'm afraid to delve deep into it. Same with video editing. I was a graphic designer, but I knew if I got into video editing or music creating again, I wouldn't have time to do my own shows. So that is all about the man who I've made you wait so long to bring him on. What's wrong with you, Blaise? What's wrong with you? Well, you're going to have to wait a little longer. I'm going to show you one more commercial break before we bring him on. We got a commercial about my channel and my wrestling promotion, a commercial about the Legion of Dork, and we'll be right back to get to know Jeff, Valhalla Sports Talk, with a couple different categories. We'll be right back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yo, it's your boy Blaise McCoy, the lunatic kick from the sticks, the Steel City Sultan, your dungeon master, creator, commentator, promoter, MC, DJ, ring announcer, play-by-play, all that good stuff. And you're tuned into the Blaised Radio Network as part of the Digital Wrestling Syndicate here on YouTube, where we're showcasing your original created characters with custom shows, titles, arenas, and music. Our digital wrestling shows feature you in action in the ring, putting unity back in the community and repping many other channels with unique events like the Combat Kingdom Stable Wars, Game Night with interactive chat, games, and prizes, the Get Blaze Talk Show with special guests, show reviews, recaps, and live interviews, digital collector cards for roster pages on our Wix website where you can find everything you need to know about LTD, and check out the TeePublic store for your LTD merchandise. Promotional consideration paid for by the following: Blaze Brews Eliminator Beer. Don't get eliminated, get obliterated. Drink Eliminator Beer. And sit back, relax, let the AI take you for a ride. But always remember this: we're all leaning towards death. Some are just a little bit closer. Peace and positive vibes to all you, and stay tuned to Blaze Radio, hook, line, and sinker. This is your boy Blaise McCoy saying, see ya in my stream. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a dork, it's a couple dorks, reminiscing some nostalgia in classic video games, toys, and cartoons. I'm your boy Blaise McCoy, and with my awesome friend Super Nacho, we invite you to join us in the Legion of Dork, a podcast where we talk about our favorites of the past and discuss it all with you. The good old days when video game arcades were full, pinball, and more. When the toy stores were stocked to the ceilings with all your favorites like G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. Well, it started all with Pong with me in the 70s, then Atari, Nintendo, Sega, ColecoVision and television and more brought new classics. Classics like Space Invaders, pew pew pew, and Donkey Kong, Pitfall, Dig Dug was a great one. Spent a lot of quarters on Galaga, that's for damn sure. Tecmo Bowl, hut, touchdown, and all the sports games. Super Mario Brothers became an instant classic, so did Zelda and Sonic the Hedgehog. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was a great one to play. So was Street Fighter, Hadouken, and all the fighting games. Star Wars toys and Hot Wheels is where I started collecting toys back in the day. Masters of the Universe, and you can't forget the bad guys. Of course, Transformers, more than meets the eye. Inhumanoids are here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heroes in a Half Shell. Can't forget the wrestling figures, WWF, AWA, and those little guys, the Muscles. Yeah, I love playing with those, are great. Thundercats, ho! And even Voltron brought them all together with movies, cartoons, and toys. Join us in the Legion of Dork right here on the Blaised Radio Network here on YouTube. All right, there you have it. And we got some new heads popping in here. I got to pay some respect, say what's up to everybody, of course. Appreciate all you guys and gals popping in here. We got One King. What's up, Matt? Good to see you. One King Entertainment in the building. Big shout out to each and every one of you guys and gals. Chick Love Sports, SJ Ross. What is happening? Welcome to the show. You're tuned into Blaised Radio. Maddie as well. If you guys are new to the channel, hey, it's absolutely free. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you're down for some of the content you just saw, what I create here. Plus, when football season comes back, I'll be doing NFL Red Zone every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, wearing myself out and losing my voice. I said I was going to bring him back right after that, but now we're going to do one more thing. We're going to share his channel here and just give you guys a little look at Valhalla Sports Talk. This guy has done phenomenal with his channel in just about 3 years. It's incredible the traction he's gained. And like I said, he has the formula for doing it well. A very attractive banner on the top. You got your upcoming streams already. Later on today, if you're a NASCAR fan, Quaker State 400 in Atlanta, he will be live for it. Baseball Home Run Derby. I love the Home Run Derby. I'll definitely be there for that stream. And the All-Star game as well on the 11th. If you look back, he has it all organized. His shorts. Check out his shorts. Well, you can't see if he's wearing shorts or pants. None of us. I'm not wearing any pants, to be honest. There's your nudity you want. Just kidding. All these watch parties for baseball games. Different friends of the channel. He has it all hooked up. Great channel. Definitely check it out. Links are in the description of this show. If you're not subscribed to Valhalla Sports Talk, you're doing it wrong, people, and you're missing out on some really fun content. So without further ado, I told you I'd BS for a half an hour. Here's the man, Valhalla Sports Talk.
Peace, Lord.
How you doing, man?
Homies? What's going on, Blaise? How you doing, man? Thanks for having me on, man.
No problem, man. This is a blast. It's long overdue because we've actually.
I drank a 40 while I was waiting to get on here, bro. A whole 40.
I try to do things a little differently, not your normal average interview, and I don't know how to shut up either. But I guess that's a good thing for a content creator, right?
Perfect.
So we talked about me. We're going to find out a little bit about the man behind the man, the myth, the legend, as he's being talked about in the chat. How about it? That's impressive. And I've talked about some of the things that are key already. I mean, and I'm going to blow smoke up your ass because you're here and for a reason. The way you engage with your chat, the fun shit that you do, all the little comedy skits and things throughout your show. Tell us about this monkey, man. Where'd you get to find a monkey at?
Well, that's all real. Okay. That's not fake. That's for real. I have a unpaid intern over in Studio C that we hire every show. If they get fired from the night before,
Sure.
That's just for real. That's all real. It's a real, and they all look the same. I'm not sure why every time they look the exact same, but we have a type that we like to hire.
It's good.
There it is. There it is.
So like I didn't want to spoil everything from your channel. So if you guys want to see this monkey, really real monkey work, you got to go subscribe to his channel and check out his stream.
Subscribe. Come see my monkey.
Let's talk basics and get some basic questions and find a little bit more about Mr. Valhalla Sports Talk and Blaised Basics. It's a handsome monkey, says Butterfly. See? Yeah, there you go. All right, so let's get right to it. How did you get started as a content creator here on YouTube?
So here's what I do. I'm working at that time. I'm working in the defense industry, working for a company, Northrop Grumman. They make drones, missiles, things like that.
Sweet.
And we know that that like funding is about to go away. So we're all probably about to lose our jobs. So we go and I start looking around and I manage upon Tom Grossi's channel.
Yeah.
And Grossi, of course, is a Green Bay Packer fan. I, of course, hate the Green Bay Packers. And I'm like, there needs to be a Viking channel out there that does these watch parties. So Valhalla Sports Talk is born. And then I started doing like, mainly I do the Super Bowl about 3 years ago. The 49ers are in it. I can't remember who they played. Wasn't the Vikings, of course. So I do that and like, okay, let's take a shot here and we'll see if we can do a Viking channel to be the ye and the ha against Grossi, right? So that's where we are. That's what brings the channel online.
But like, and I've been saying this throughout the show, and here's the thing. Anybody at this point can press the live button and go live on YouTube. Anyone can do what we're doing. But if you're not unique about it, you're just going to fall by the wayside. And you know, you got to do something different. And I think you really dug deep into, you know, the visual of OBS, the side skits and things you have, some of the
Correct.
Just naming your audience, things like that. Those niches, they're big here on YouTube. Knowing to give people shout outs in the chat. You got a great moderator team. That's a huge part of your success as well. And same with me. You got to surround yourself with good people, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you don't have those people in the chat that keep it like the vibe that you're looking for, that keep it in that direction, it can go into anarchy pretty quick.
Yeah.
We've got an excellent crew that I brought on. Don't get me wrong. You've had to work at it. Some you have to get rid of after a while, some you keep. But I've got a great team right now, and we have very little drama on the channel, I don't think. So,
yeah, and
I'm real happy. Yep.
It's hard not to have drama in a YouTube because there's always someone trying to piss on your parade. I found that out, but there's different ways to handle it. And I've told this to a bunch of people. It doesn't matter if you can be the same person, energy wise and fun wise, whether there's a dozen people in your chat or hundreds up to 1,000, and sometimes it's not your fault if there's not 1 million people in there, but I've seen both ends of the spectrum with you as you grew the channel, and then maybe it's just an off day, but you're consistent no matter what. And I think that it's something you need commended by, because a lot of people, I'll go to the stream and they're used to having 50 people in their stream. If there's only 10 or something, they're sad. They're yelling at their chat.
Yeah. It's an emotional deal, dude. It's an emotional roller coaster. If this is what your goal was to do, and then you don't see any payback from the effort that you're putting in, it's a difficult deal. I got really lucky on my channel. I mean, I remember in the beginning, my first stream for the Super Bowl was basically me and my wife's family. That was in the chat. Okay, so we started from there, and then I started to have a fella, Gil, that was my first one of the first subscribers. Since then, Gil was 30 years old, in that 30-year-old range. He lived in New York. Gil decided he was going to go in the military, join the Marines, and he's currently in the Marines. He's still my longest subscriber, longest member. And I hear from him I hardly ever see him in the chat anymore, but he's still a member. He's still on Instagram. I see what he's doing there. He's doing really well. But he joined the Marine Corps at 32 years of age, dude. 32, he goes in.
Balls.
Exactly. And that's what I love, about YouTube is kind of those stories of the people that pick you up early on. But it used to be in my early streams, it used to literally be me and Gil.
Yeah, that's how it starts, man. And I always tell people, man, don't let that get you down. Keep trying. Be unique. Pick the brains of other people. Uh-oh. Stella K coming through with a $10.
Stella K. Stella.
Shout out to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Big shout out to anybody can donate out there. I appreciate that. Lady Devil's in the house. Good to see you. The mod squads are out there. And we were talking briefly about it. I've talked about it in other interviews, how people just give mods as prizes and stuff, which isn't a really good practice. I want to make sure before I give anyone a mod, I want to get to know them a while. I want to see them on other streams. I even have I want to connect with them on social media somewhere, Facebook, Twitter, Skype, somewhere, so I can talk to them outside of the chat too. And I have a group in Facebook with most of my mods that I'll drop links or send information, or, hey, check out this character just popped into the chat. Keep an eye on them, stuff like that. But there's my social media. I'm wide open. You guys follow me. Check out any of my social medias, and as well, like I said in the description, this guy's information as well. So
on the mod side, Blaise, you basically end up with a group of people that I don't know if they reflect exactly you. I mean, I've got some folks that are vastly different than me that mod on my channel, but I think you get people that understand what vibe you're going for. And in the end, after you've done it for a while, your mod team ends up being people that A, want to see success for the channel, and B, want to just keep it, where that vibe is operating properly.
That's nail. I told you this guy's got the formula. And I've always said, I don't really have like a set of solid rules for the channel, but my first couple years, I just hoped everyone would follow my lead. But it didn't happen as easy all the time until I pulled the mods together outside of the channel and said, hey, this is kind of how I want to run it. If someone comes into the chat, don't jump on them right away because they're not going to understand what we're doing. Explain to them what we're doing, because how many people come in and say, show the game. You'll get
absolutely.
Those people. But I've always said my rules are pretty easy. No religion, no politics, no rape, no murder. And, if you keep those things out of your conversation, you don't have to like everybody. But if you guys can just forget about all your differences, forget about what's going on in your life, just come into the chat and have fun. You'd be surprised. You can get along with people that you never thought you could get along with and just have fun. But having a mod team that helps you run your channel, they're like you said, an extension of what you want your channel to be. And when you get to like Valhalla, I've been in there where hundreds of people are in your chat. Sometimes you calling the game and giving them information, you can't see everything. It gets to a point where you got to rely on your mods. Monstar, I know you're not in that group because you're a whiny little singly bitch. That's my boy Monstar, one of my best friends ever since I've started streaming. He's been with me here for all 6 years. We bust each other's balls constantly.
I see him in your chat all the time.
Yeah, we constantly bust each other's balls. He has this thing against group chats. Okay, that's fine. And he has this love affair with Doc from my wrestling podcast, and he, always knocking me down a peg. So, but I'm cool with that. Yeah, you find that real funny. I'm sure you do. I'm gonna get you on here and interview you. So I mean, I did give people a little background about your channel. But just summarize like what you do on a weekly basis, what kind of streams, and to give anybody an idea of, like I said, I laid the groundwork and explained what we do, but anything else you want to add about what you do on your channel?
The vast majority of the content on my channel is watch party, watch along streams where we watch a sporting event, whether it be baseball, football, basketball, even hockey. Hell, I did the hot dog eating contest on the 4th of July.
Yeah. I was ready to give up on it, and you hung in there until Joey Chestnut came out and said, we're doing this. I was like, they canceled it, man. They canceled it. But kudos to you for not ending that stream and keeping it going. You started entertaining people on your own.
Yep. You gotta try to keep it alive. And the chat helps a lot with that. There's a lot of times that people will take over in the chat and keep it going. So you end up You never know where you're going on a Valhalla Sports Talk watch party. We could be talking about food. We could be talking about movies. We could be talking about all kinds of things. You never know where it's headed. A lot of time it's food, but most of the time you just never know where it's going to end up.
Well, it's disgusting and entertaining at the same time when you got the hot dog eating contest. But I thought it was going to be canceled. I literally saw it all over Twitter. People were posting it was done. I came in there and you hung in there, and sooner or later they were shoving wieners in their mouth, and that's
Exactly.
what you get. But it was fun. You made that a bunch of fun. And like I said, I'm one of those guys where I never do one thing at a time, as you saw with my setup. So I'm okay with watching a game, having a watch along, and listening as well. And there's so many different ways to watch those watch alongs. Some people that can't see the game will just watch you the whole time.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that you're the commentary for their stream they're watching too while they're watching the game. And it's just, there's Jesse Jackhammer. Good to see you. Keep those thumbs up coming, or Butterfly's going to get you. So the basics is real quick. That's the easy part. Now we get to the fun stuff. And I'm an old school hip hop head. I like old metal and classic rock too. But there was an old group called Digital Underground where a man named Tupac started, and they had a song called "Do What You Like." So this one is the second segment called "What You Like." All right. It was a hot stream that day. It sure was a hot dog stream. So do what you like. So we want to find out what you like. Dig a little deeper into Valhalla Sports Talk. So first and foremost, what is your favorite part about being a content creator?
I always hear people answer this question kind of the same way. It's always like the chat or things like that. It's my outlet for competition. It's
Love it.
kind of
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's always, for me, it's and I'm not talking about cutthroat competition. I'm not going to try to end anybody's stream, but I like the whole competition factor. I like seeing numbers. I like seeing results. The business I came from, my majority of my professional career was spent in the car business. I did everything. I started in sales. I worked my way up into the finance department. I worked as a sales manager. So numbers was a big deal for me, even though I was horrible at math in high school. But I think that's what brings me what keeps me engaged is looking at numbers and trying to improve those numbers or enhance them. But the chat is what brings the energy. I think you pull energy from your viewers to keep doing it every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think for me, a lot of it is the competition factor, at least something to strive for, a goal that you have to try to reach on a daily, weekly, monthly basis.
I love that. And you're speaking my language. I don't delve as much into the numbers as far as competition, but I know it's a huge part of the game. You have to know your analytics to some extent, your audience to some extent. But you touched on two things that definitely make sense. Number one, others make you want to do better. That competition makes you, and I've seen that a million times. I've seen someone like, damn it, he's doing that a little different than me. I can do better than him. Let me push myself. And then sports fans are competitive. Naturally, sports fans are competitive. We have to be. And salesmen are competitive. Quotas. You're talking my language. You got quotas. They car salesmen, computer salesmen, phone salesmen, sports salesmen. They manage you in every variable. Every month you're being analyzed by your numbers. Every year your bonus is managed by your numbers. So I get that's a great answer because, like you said, most people do answer that the same way. It's not that it's wrong, but that's a different way to look at it. Motivation coming from the outside. Sometimes I have a hard time being self-motivated, but the chat will motivate you. I've had a lot of days where I'm sick. I don't feel good. I'm down for whatever reason. And the chat can bring you up. Those people make you happy, make you forget about whatever's bugging you. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing.
There's a lot of days, man, where you're sitting there and you've got a stream scheduled and it's been scheduled for a week. and you might not feel like doing it. You're like, man, I just like to sit on my ass on the couch and watch this on my own. But you look down and then you bring up the stream and you see, well, shit, 12 people have liked this already. I can't let those people down, right? I have to go on. And then as soon as you go on, usually they pick you up. But I mean, I definitely know that I have streams where there's a different energy in the room. And that's all because you have to, as a content creator, channel owner, whatever you want to call them, you have to find that motivation, that interest to keep doing what you're doing, because this shit ain't easy, man. And sometimes you could do everything perfect on YouTube. You could literally, I think, this is my belief, but I think you could do everything perfect on YouTube and still not get a single viewer. So
it's like I said earlier, sometimes it's not really your fault, just like you said.
No.
But it's good practice. You got, you get this practice in on, just doing it when you start doing better. And one thing about practice.
I mean, listen, we're talking about practice, not a game. We talking about practice.
Yeah.
Iverson, baby.
You gotta have practice, right? And if you're, I'm gonna get corny. I always do this. When you do real well at practice, what's your goal is to make the playoffs, right?
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
Yeah.
Or
some of my Pirate fans don't know much about playoffs, but and then when you win it all, you get crowned as a champion.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Denny
I love
Green,
rant.
rest in peace, sir.
One of my favorite rants is the Oklahoma State coach when he goes, "I'm a man, I'm 40."
I love it.
It was one of the best ones, man. So little corny things here and there, but what you like? We asked what your favorite part is. Now, what's the worst part about being a content creator?
Well, I think the worst part kind of feeds into the best part.
Okay.
When you finish a stream and you felt like you've done everything right and you feel like your chat, your mod, everything has gone perfect, and then you look up and the numbers, after the stream ends, right, within like 30 seconds, you get that end of stream report, right, from YouTube, and it's tough, man, when you've invested so much time. I think a lot of times the people that view these channels, especially the watch along parties, they think, man, this guy is sitting here and he's talking for 3 hours while watching sports. No big deal. Well, they're not thinking about at least in my case, because I don't bullshit around on the overlays.
The production is amazing.
Or my features.
Yes.
Anything like that. So, I mean, the time that it takes for a single stream before you even go online, you're talking about at the very least an hour and a half, probably closer to like 2.5 hours. So I don't think people realize some of that. And that's not the fault of the chat either. If you have a bad stream, usually, sometimes this whole algorithm thing, if you don't come up in the algorithm for searching, the whole thing is trying to get new eyes on your channel. That's what makes channels grow.
Amen.
I think putting in the work and doing better than everybody, that's important to me as a content creator, but I don't think YouTube gives a crap, right?
No.
And and the algorithm doesn't give a crap.
No.
So the only way that channels really grow on YouTube is if the algorithm pushes them to the top. That's why likes are so important. That's why new subscribers are so important, because you need something that's going to push you up in the search term to get you recognized. My channel would still be sitting, sub 1,000, sub 2,000 if I didn't hit during the Dodgers championship run in 2020. That's when my channel took off.
Yep.
And so I don't know, man. It's a tough deal, this YouTube thing. And I don't think people necessarily understand that all the time. And I think I've seen on your interviews, you always ask people, what do you find is not the most rewarding thing, but what do you attribute your success to type thing?
Mm-hmm.
Luck, bro.
Yeah, a lot of it is
fucking luck.
A lot of it can be, and I've said over and over, and you're right. comments after the show matter. That, I mean,
Yep.
YouTube notices that if you got a lot of comments after the show. So I religiously now say, hey, if you're watching this by a replay, please take a second to leave a comment, and I'll reply to every one of those comments if I can. Being creative and fun and having your own niche, numbers will come. Yes, studying the numbers is one thing, but like Jeff just said, sometimes the numbers won't make any sense, and you're like, what? I just busted my ass. But just to give you an idea, here's some of the things that I've wrote down, just some of the backstage work that we do. You know, you got to have a social media presence. So if you're not sharing your stuff out, you know, you might lack there. You got to engage with your audience. You got to have a trailer video telling people what you do. You got to have your page appearance look good, like I showed your channel. You got to be unique. You got to have good thumbnails. You got to have hashtags in your descriptions. You know, you got to study and learn from others. You got to avoid negativity. You got to be, you know, there's so many things. And the pre-planning, it's obvious that you do a lot of back work for your channels because of the visuals and how well it's produced when it comes out. And I've showed all my things a million times about how I try to prepare. And yeah, it can be very disheartening when you've busted your ass to bring something to people and it might not have been as lucrative as you thought it was going to be as far as but like you said, if you get so many likes in the first like 20 minutes of your stream, you go back and search for Vikings game. If you're in the top 10, I used to do that for Red Zone. Like during my Red Zone, I would go just Google Red Zone and see, you know, Red Zone YouTube and see if I'm in the top 10. You know, I wasn't.
The only problem with that, Blaise, and I found about this a couple weeks ago too. Yeah, you got to log out because otherwise it's pulling off of your prior searches, and what you're seeing is not the reality. It's
True.
throwing, if you're logging into your YouTube and then doing a search, it's pulling you to the top because you've looked at it before.
Yep.
So there's so much stuff here.
Hard way. At first I was like, damn, I'm always number one, but I'm not getting a million viewers. I was like, wait, it's going to pull what I've picked and what I've been viewing. So I've learned to log out, then go in YouTube search and try to find where you're at. But like I said, is it a science? It's not an exact science. Like Jeff,
hell no, it ain't a science. No.
Sometimes, and the algorithm, how much has it changed in the last 5 years? I mean, it's changed a bunch already. Just what they look for now. If you do 1 million shorts, you can grow your channel very fast. I've seen it happen just by doing shorts because we're in the world of instant gratification. Because of things like these that I sold for 10 years. Everyone gets all the information right away. So shorts, and I don't do enough of them. I know that, but clipping something funny from your show and making it a short and stuff like that, you might get 1,000 views on a short. That's nothing compared to, you know, if you're getting hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands, then you can start to see. And, you know, it's all about how many you can bring into your streams too, whether you're doing uploads or live. It's not an exact science like we were just talking about. Justin Goins, good to see you. Welcome in.
The live side specifically, Blaise, the live side, you know, the watch parties and stuff. If you look at the channels that have the big numbers, they don't do none of the shit that we're doing. They don't do any of the features. They don't do none of the overlays.
Nope.
I mean, real overlays. They're not putting any real time in before the stream goes online. I mean, some of these kids that are getting 1 million subscribers, they're literally just sitting in their room, bro. So I mean, there has to be something that makes you hit. You have to get lucky or you know, hit it at the right moment.
I really think there is. You can hit it on the head. I mean, as much as you can study and try. I guess the idea is prepare, do a lot of the back work, but don't hope that that's always going to make you successful.
Well, you got to do what makes you happy, right? What makes you keep logging in and doing it day after day after day. That's the biggest thing.
So we talked about, you know, the good and the bad of being a content creator a little bit. So let's talk a little bit more about you. We were talking about movies last night on your stream. So if you had a favorite movie or a couple, what would be some of your top movies of all time? Favorites.
That's always a hard question, and it probably changes daily, right? But
we were doing this last night on your stream.
Yeah, I'm a huge Tom Hanks fan. I think he's one of the best actors of my lifetime. So, yeah, Tom Hanks. I like, obviously, war movies are kind of my jam, but there's so many, dude. Yeah. I mean, Green Mile. Yeah. There's just a ton, bro.
We were talking about the comedy ones last night, the Ferris Bueller's and the Caddyshacks and the Stripes. Oh, man, when you said Stripes, I was like, man, I haven't seen that in a while. I love that freaking movie.
Yeah. Well, here's a rant. here's a rant from last night specifically.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here, what, 5 years ago, and all of us are buying DVDs of movies, right? And we're putting them on the shelf. And Netflix comes out
A million DVDs.
and convinces us to throw our DVDs away or get rid of them. And now we're back 5 years later, and now you try to watch Stripes last night. You're not getting it for free, bro. It's going to be $4.50, which is what you could have bought the DVD for.
Yep.
3 to 5 years ago.
That's right.
But they've convinced us to throw them away for this streaming stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to rethink that, bro.
I'm a man of media. The medium of media has pretty much gone away, but I still have 8-track tapes. I have LPs, 45s and 33s. I have tons of DVD. I don't have any laser discs. Remember they even came out those big laser discs for movies?
That was kind of a short deal, the laser disc, but
just like Blu-ray. Well, Blu-ray was a thing for a little bit, but then like you said, it all became digital. And now, all these CDs, I have thousands of CDs, tons of tapes, singles. Remember singles?
Yep.
When just the single would come out. So, I mean, the record stores you could go to, the movie stores, like the Blockbusters, like they're all gone. Like that era's gone. I always joke around with people when I'm talking about subscribing to the channel. Remember the thing called magazines? If you like the magazine, what'd you do? You subscribe to it and you got it every month.
Yep.
Or you ordered a bunch of DVDs from like what's those Columbia House for a penny.
Sure.
I used to do that too.
Well, basically what's happened though is it's like a drug dealer type deal, right? They convince us that hey, throw these things away because it's always going to be available digitally, but
True.
they gave it to us for free, and now all of a sudden they want money every time I want to see it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
even like the old video games. Now they're all downloads
absolutely.
instead of actually having a cartridge. You don't have to blow the
physical
back
copy.
of a cartridge.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's we're two boomers talking about the way it used to be, and it's true. It's true. Things have changed so much.
We got suckered, bro. That's what happened. Everybody got suckered.
Yeah, like 20, 25 years. I say it's such a drastic change as far as media. But it, and I hate to say anything good came out of COVID, but so many more people were doing this, working from home, being on YouTube, doing podcasts, making their own content. So like the number of people that did it over the last 3 years, I think has probably quadrupled or more.
Oh, absolutely. And not only that, but I talked to you about this in the green room there. These corporations are coming, bro. This is this is not really fast. This is not going to be Jeff sitting in his living room in Arizona or Blaise sitting in his gaming room. The corporations are coming, bro. These channels have full staffs now. They have social media teams. They have graphic designers. The big ones, like especially on the gaming side, this Tim the Tap Man, Doc, Nick Merckx, they got full staffs, bro. We're talking about 25-person staffs that are running these guys' social media empires as they make millions of dollars.
And there's groups on the wrestling side, wrestling podcasts, like people like Fightful, who is huge now. They grow so big that they have huge staffs. 10 years ago, they were just 1 or 2 guys doing wrestling news on here. So a big shout out. We got people popping in. Romaldo Vasquez in a building. Good to see you. Y'all you're getting blazed right now, God. Yeah, John. Yeah, he's right. I mean, Valhalla's got it, and you always got to think about what's the next step? What's coming next? I mean, when I started this 6 years ago, I had a conversation with some people that said, this gaming commentary stuff and these watch-alongs, they're catching on. I think it's only going to get bigger. And then, like I said at the beginning of the stream, anybody can press that live button. But if you want to grow, you got to be unique. You got to do something different, and you got to bring it to the table consistently. And it's not always easy. We talked wrestling before. You got a favorite wrestler of all time?
I'm not a crazy wrestler fan. I did stream WrestleMania, I think it was last year. But I really don't know much about it all. My wrestling era was probably the beginning of yours as well.
Hell yeah.
Hulk Hogan, Randy Macho Man, Savage, the Bushwhackers.
Hell yeah.
But since then, I don't keep up with it. I know some folks know every in and out, what's going on. It's basically a soap opera on the different versions.
Yes.
But for dudes.
Would your favorite you got a favorite of all time?
My favorite would be Hulk, probably. I mean, he was the one that him and Macho Man probably both, which is weird because they were.
Yep, they were always at each other.
Yeah.
That's
But
good.
I mean, I really liked Junkyard Dog and the Bushwhackers. I remember they were some of my favorites.
Me and my man Monstarts, one thing that's when I started 6 years ago, it's one thing we had in common. We always talked about is the 80s wrestling, the old school wrestling, and what got us into that. And to think that, everyone was telling me when I started, oh, doing a wrestling game, you're never going to grow your channel. You can't grow just doing one thing, blah, blah, blah. And I heard so much negativity, but I had to kind of let it bounce off me and just do what, like you said, just do what makes me entertaining and what made me enjoy what I'm doing. And it shows up. Now we got people sharing theirs. There we go. Ultimate Warrior, Roman Reigns, Honky Tonk Man. There you go.
I remember Honky Tonk Man too.
When you download a digital copy, you're more likely to get an altered copy. Keep your DVD. Yeah, that's true. Plus, all the the memorabilia over the years will be worth more as people continue to trash it and throw it away. So I'm holding on to a bunch of media, but there's already some VHSs that are worth thousands if you still have them, like kids movies, like Beauty and the Beast or something like that. They're old Disney VHSs that are worth tons. But, as people continue to throw them away because they think they're not valuable, that'll kick the value up of other things. What about superhero? You have a favorite superhero? I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I'm a big Spider-Man.
Well, I think this is a lame one. Everybody loves Batman.
Yeah.
I obviously like Thor because of the Norse connection, but
Gotcha.
Batman was probably my favorite superhero growing up.
Okay. So who is the best Batman of all time, and why is it Michael Keaton?
Well, Keaton, yeah, exactly. That would have been my answer.
Yeah, that's why I always say that. I love Michael Keaton. I think some of the other ones, but yeah, I always like to reminisce about where superheroes were when we were kids. You got comic books and cartoons. That's pretty much all you got, and figures. So having movies, having TV series and everything, and seeing how that's bloomed to see. There we got people. Yeah, definitely. When I ask Jeff a question, you guys in the chat can answer too. We're all learning from each other. You have at least 100 VHS tapes. Hey, Google expensive or valuable VHS tapes, Patty. You may have some of those ones that are worth a lot. Yeah, they did make them a joke. They were awesome as the sheep herders. Hell yeah. R.I.P. Rowdy Roddy Piper. R.I.P. Owen Hart. We got people sharing their faves out there. Randy Savage and Sting. Michael Keaton, the best. Not only because he's a Pittsburgh boy, but because he was the best. Let's see.
So on the comic book side, Blaise.
Yeah.
Growing up, we didn't have no money, bro. We lived in LA and we didn't have a lot of dough. And so when we had to go to laundry, my mother would go to the laundromat. You remember laundromats?
Yes.
So the deal was when I went to the laundromat with my mother, she always bought me a comic book for 15 cents, a soda, and some M&Ms. And so my comic book collection all came from those laundromat visits. Yeah. And it was always, like Batman, Superman, and Aquaman, and all those type folks.
So similar whenever, I didn't buy them on a regular basis. I was collecting football and baseball and basketball cards regularly. But we had to, me, my brother, my sister, and my parents would have to travel about a half an hour away to a specific doctor once a month. And we went to that doctor. We waited 4 hours. They had a little gift shop. So my mom would always say, go down and get something for the gift shop. They didn't have cards, so I'd always get a comic book. I'm not big into reading, but I love the artwork. So I have some of the first Transformers, old Spider-Man ones and stuff. And I'm not a big comic book collector, but hey, every liquor store had one of those back in those days. Every liquor store had the turnstile thing that had all the comic books stacked in it. Yep.
They were 25 cents, 15 cents. Then a soda was like 25 or
that's another thing.
Cents.
I was just saying what someone showed me an advertisement from McDonald's about 30 years ago, and it was 39-cent hamburgers and 69 cents Big Macs and shit. I was like, oh man, you get it. I just had McDonald's today. It was like $15 for
it was expensive then though.
Yeah, true. One last one on here, and you kind of touched it already before we get to the next subject. The best comment you've ever got, either a live stream comment, a DM, or maybe a YouTube story with someone that you've met that really struck home.
There's a lot, man. I mean, I don't know if I could narrow it to one.
Generalize it, story, anything.
Well, it's not just stories. It's the people, bro. It's the people. So my channel, basically, Sheila and Dave are in the chat, or they were here. Sheila and Dab Dave are a story from my channel. They were dating for I don't know, 13, 15 years they dated. And they were on my channel one day, and I said, well, why don't you just guys get married? And well, they're married now.
That's great. I've always said I was very skeptical when I first started this about long distance relationships and people having relationships online and stuff. But now I really see that you can really get a connection with someone, whether it's friendship or more, you know, from doing this.
Yeah, we've got the Rhodes, Dave Rhodes and his wife. They were in my channel last year. They were talking about how they couldn't have a baby, and they were going to adopt. So they adopted a little girl, Leah, that apparently watches me every night before she falls asleep. And then we hear last week that the Rhodes have a baby on the way in the oven after not being able to have a baby for all those years. So it's those type stories that make it fun, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
You never know who you're going to run into. And like we said earlier, like people all over the world, you're not just meeting people from your area. You know,
I've got huge supporters from Australia. I mean, Theo Samuel, big supporter, is back east in New Jersey, that area. My buddy Bobby from Beantown Breakdown is from Boston.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all over, bro. It's all over.
And that's still till this day. Every time I go live, that amazes me. And just blessed to have people continuously come to your channel. Like when you start to see the same names over and over when you first started, like it makes your heart grow. It's like, man, they really like me. And then you realize you have some power, you know, to say, hey, everybody, don't let this bother you. Or you have the power of bringing these people together. Like you did it. Like it's hard, because I'm really a humble person to pat myself on the back, but we've both built really good communities by staying consistent and being who we are. I mean, and
it's crazy. It's crazy too, the level of support, bro. I mean, you start seeing about some of the money that gets donated to support the channel, and it's much needed. I mean, it's not like we can do this stuff for free, because none of this is free, but some of the folks that the money they input into your success is almost scary. I worry about some of these folks getting their asses kicked by their wives at the end of the month.
I joked with one kid. I knew he was young. And I said, is your mom's credit card wearing out yet? You know, did your mom find out you have the credit card yet? I'm kind of getting worried.
Exactly. I mean, Stella, who donated earlier in this stream here, she just, where did Stella come from? I mean, she's a regular, but literally the channel could not be here without these folks, bro. I mean, I could not do it if we didn't have that kind of support on the channel.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I mean, and I've always said, you know, the chat means a lot. Just having these people in here. Conrad in the house, good to see you. Welcome. So many people hanging out. Make sure you guys check out in the description the link to Valhalla and subscribe over there as well. If you're into NASCAR later on tonight, he's gonna be bringing that to you as well. Always fun, always entertaining. So we got a couple more little segments to go through. We were talking about retro stuff, so we're going to do another commercial break with 3 old school commercials that were real products and 1 fake product. We'll be right back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Check it out! I don't know, Tony. Maybe we ought to forget skiing today.
You'll feel up to it after this complete breakfast, including my vitamin pack Frosted Flakes. They bring out the tiger in you.
Whoa, pretty good, huh?
Frosted Flakes, good. They're good.
Show what you can do.
Go, Tiger!
Taste of Tony's Frosted Flakes.
Man, they skate.
Brings out the tiger in you.
And you.
Rely on something wimpy or something hefty.
Hefty.
Wimpy.
Hefty.
Wimpy. Wimpy bags are fine for wimpy jobs, but don't send one to do a hefty job. When the pressure's on, hefty stretches where wimpy bags break.
Hefty.
Want a bag you can rely on? Then don't send a wimpy bag to do a hefty job.
The fun, all the shows A to Z and the facts. What's behind what you see, TV Guide? The whole world of TV. That's entertainment. The stars underneath all the glow and the news from the people who know
TV Guide, it's a fabulous show. So buy a TV Guide and read TV Guide. That's entertainment.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Blaise Brew proudly brings to you Eliminator Beer. Don't get eliminated, get obliterated. Drink Eliminator Beer. Comes in a wide variety of flavors and colors. Available now at your local liquor stores, beer distributors, grocery stores, gyms, hairdressers, gas stations, restaurants, doctor's offices, pubs, bars, brothels, strip clubs, and street corners. Eliminator Beer, get one now. You won't be disappointed. You'll be shit-faced drunk.
Not a real product.
Give me some of that Eliminator Beer, bro.
Not a real product. So yeah, once I found out that old 80s commercials were fair play on YouTube, I downloaded a whole ton of them because they're not copywritten.
Really?
Yeah, the copyright rules. I did some homework on it before I did it because I'm really careful. Like all the beats you hear on these intros and stuff I've created from scratch or made with my band or my brother's band or stuff. But I read an article somewhere, it was like 90 something, early 90s is when the copyright rules actually happened. So all those old commercials are fair game. I've never got a copyright notice or strike for any of those.
Oh,
although,
wow.
I've had my balls busted. What's he doing commercials for? Because it's fun. But right. I know if I do a WWE commercial of their toys or their old stuff, that they'll hit me. So I don't do that. So there's certain ones I guess they do that I've had to be careful of, but it's fun. So when I do the next Legion of Dork, we're going to do old school commercials. I'm going to do a whole bunch of funny old school wacky commercials and have fun with it. We got Rick Logan that showed up. Good to see you. Rick Logan loves his Eliminator Beer. Randy Next Shift is in the house. What's happening? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, you missed my little thumbs up when the screen goes off. Good stuff. We got people sticking with us the whole time. I appreciate it. And they are married. I saw that in there earlier. We are married. Yes, sir. There you go. I appreciate all you guys in the chat. You're really making this a blast. Would old 80s songs work? No, they're copywritten. It was the videos, the commercials is the only thing that I found. There was a TV copyright law that passed. I forget exactly what it was, but it was early in the 90s that I found. I'm like, cool. And I saw someone else doing old commercials. I'm like, I got to figure that one out. All right. So we got another segment here, another song theme segment. If you guys remember MC Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock with a little song called It Takes Two to Make a Thing Go Right. And part of it was the situation that the bass is in. And so situational questioning is always big in interviews. So we're going to do a little situational interview coming up right after this. All right, so I'm going to mix it up a little bit. The last couple interviews, I don't think I used this one, so I'm going to bring it back. And you did tell me something I didn't know about you earlier about your job, one of your previous jobs. But I want you to tell us something that we, including the people in your community that are here, something that we don't know about you, the man behind Valhalla Sports Talk.
I'm pretty open, dude. I'm kind of an open book on my channel. I think people know way too much about me. I often worry about getting hacked online and in my banking account because I talk too much. But I don't think everybody in my channel knows about my background in sales. Most of them know that I was in the military.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Problem. I don't know that all of them know that I worked for Northrop Grumman working on drones.
Yeah, that's incredible. Like, when was this? What around what
this
year?
Was just before COVID hit. So
okay.
So I start the channel knowing that the end is near. We lose our funding. They fire the entire group. You know, they're all laid off.
Conrad busted you. Conrad figured you out.
Valhalla rolled back his odometer. I've tried, bro. It don't work. That's another thing I'm doing. This is totally off this question here, Blaise, but this shit that we're doing is not healthy, bro. I mean, sitting in these chairs for the length of time that we do, it's unhealthy.
I have bad disc in my back and neck. Tell me about it. I have extra support on the chair in the back here.
What's happening here is I've got 2 boxes over here and two desks, stand-up desks that were purchased by Theo Sam Eagle, who's in the chat there. Those are getting put together this week, and if I'm streaming, I'm gonna try to stand at least 80% of the time and move around, bro, because this shit's killing us, bro.
Here's what I wanted to ask you. I'm glad, it can. As we get older, it's not going to get any easier either. And I've a bad disc in my neck and my back, bad shoulder, blah, blah, blah. Everyone has their issues. But tell us about your little outside setup that you have, because that's awesome. Like, I'm jealous as shit when you had some of those streams out there.
So Facebook, right? We were all on it before Twitter and Instagram and all that shit got popular. And I'm on Facebook one day and I see this group that's called Pub Sheds. And I was like, what the hell is this? And so I click on it, and what it is basically people are buying or building sheds in their backyards and making them into a pub or a what do they call it? A she shed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For whatever their main interest is. So at that time, I was in the car business. I was a sale manager for a Dodge dealer. And across the street, we had one of those. I don't know if you have them where you're at, but we had one of those companies that sell the pre-made sheds. They're sitting over there. They're built.
Yep.
Pick them up with a little forklift and bring them to your house. So I'm like, well, shit, I'm about to have me a pub shed. So I order one, and I order the biggest one that I can get through my my gate in the back here. So it can be 10 feet wide and it can be about 14 foot long. I've already got a concrete pad back there with an awning over the top. So I rolled that bitch right up next to it. My brother-in-law comes out and we cut a huge hole in the side for the bar.
Yeah.
And fashion a cover up so that it can cover, so you can cover it when the weather's out. And I threw all the memorabilia I had in there, including some that I purchased after that, kind of look like what your deal looks like there. And so the Valhalla Tavern was born.
It's like an outdoor man cave. It's awesome.
I ran electricity to it. It's got full, at the time it had full DirecTV. Now we're going to be on streaming because DirecTV is going away, but yep.
I had a friend who did the same thing. He had just a little shed in his backyard, and he turned the doors into something where he put a bar there, and he got a weird sign that said the Loon Saloon on top of it, and threw a bunch of liquor in there and a mini fridge and then a little TV, because this is early 2000s. He had a little ass TV, and we'd watch the games out there. There we go. We got Pete McDivitt in the building. We'll be interviewing him in a couple of weeks.
What's up, Pete?
You're not allowed to watch the interviews and know what's going down, Pete. You're cheating. No.
So my back bar in there is a old waterbed back. So that's my mirrors and shelving in the back of the back bar. I bought the bar itself from a Mormon couple in Tucson that were horrified to find it in the house that they bought.
Something for a stream where you're calling maybe a Viking game and they win at the very end and you go jump in the pool.
Yeah, I think I've done that before.
I missed that one. We got to find that one.
I think
that needs to be clipped. That's a short. You need to put that as a short out there.
I think I did that early on. Well, it was that Viking game where Diggs scores the touchdown at the end there. I'm pretty sure I hit the pool after that. I don't know if it was filmed or even if I had a channel then, but
before I even had YouTube, I was doing my wrestling eFed thing on Facebook because I did it on paper years ago, and I brought it back to Facebook because a bunch of guys wanted to see it. And one of my last streams, I did a Facebook video where I ran out and jumped in my neighbor's pool.
Oh, really?
My neighbor always said I could always jump in if I wanted. I don't have a pool. But I said, this would be a good time to do something crazy. This is before I was on YouTube or anything. I said, I just jumped with my phone, put my phone down and jumped into the pool and ended the stream like that. And that was supposed to be the end of that wrestling stuff until I saw people doing it on YouTube and brought it back. But good stuff. I mean, we're just barreling through shit here. So I didn't ask these questions for a while either. And this is more situational questioning. This is one of the interview questions that people do, but I twist it to fun. So if you could have dinner with any three people, dead or alive, who would it be?
So dinner, dead
Anybody.
or alive.
You get pick their brain. You get to talk to them. Famous people, friends, people that have passed, movies, sports, anything. 3 people anywhere in existence. You could say Jesus. You could say Moses. You could say Stephon Diggs or anybody. 3 people sitting at a table with you.
It's tough, man. It's tough. So I'm using up one of the spots.
Okay.
For my wife, the COO, she's going with me because she's going to experience it
Very
with
smart,
me, right?
Very smart, very smart. Make that wife happy wife.
So
happy
she's
life.
going. Yep. and then I don't know. There's so many, and I don't know if you could be wrong or right. I'd probably like to sit down with Jackie Robinson.
Ooh, yes.
As a big Dodger fan, and
big shout out to the CEO,
probably Kennedy.
by the way, out there.
Yeah,
Kennedy,
absolutely.
that's a great one.
I'd like to sit down with Kennedy.
I'm sorry,
too.
I'm going to get ill. You could pick his brain before it's all over the back of the car. But that's a great one. You got
we're not going to Dallas for dinner though. Definitely not.
You got a politician and a sports hero and your wife. So you got a little bit of each in there. That's good. That's 3 perfect ones. At the same time, you're stranded on a little island, and you can only take 3 things with you. Not people or anything. This is just things. You need to survive on this island, and you can only take 3 items with you. What 3 items would they be?
I was hoping for people because I would have got really controversial. But the 3 things, I mean, you got to. This is kind of a boring question. I think
okay. You got to survive.
But so you're going to take one of those Rambo knives with the fishing line and all that bullshit in it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you got to take the knife, and I think the Rambo knife. Well, we can't. We're going to make sure that we got this because this is pretty important. We got to have fire, right?
Yes.
So I'm getting one of those I'm not going to take a lighter because obviously they die after a while. I'm going to take one of those survival things that has the flint and it's a match.
Striker.
Flint will last for 1,000,000 years. So I'm taking one of those, the knife, and 100 feet of nylon rope.
So you got the knife, you got something to make fire, and what are you going to do with the rope? Fish?
The rope you could use for all kinds of things. You're going to use it to tie together your shelter.
Yep.
Because it's 100 feet, so I'm going to cut it up in pieces.
That's good. Those are good answers. I've had some really terrible answers for that. Like I always say, I asked my dad, and he's like, "I'll take my cell phone." I'm like, "Dad, number one,
I wish
you got a flip phone from 1995. Number one." And number 2, you're on a stranded island. You can't use your phone. And he's like one of the people that, I don't know. John Holmes, Conrad would invite to the table to have lunch.
And Conrad.
See,
what?
CEO could meet Freddie Freeman. Vin Scully. Mike wants to talk with Vin Scully.
Vin would be cool. Actually, if you just kept it in sports, it would be cool to bring Vin and Chick Hearn to the same table. That would be pretty cool.
I've always, one of the guys for my radio voice and everything, I'm going to show my age here again, Casey Kasem. If you remember Casey Kasem,
yep.
The top 40.
Top 40 countdown.
Yeah, I always loved that. So I would want to pick his brain. That'd be one of the guys. I'd probably be like Michael Jordan for the sports. And I don't know, I was a big Yankee fan too, even though I'm from Pittsburgh. I was a big Don Mattingly fan. I tried to, when I played baseball first base, even though I'm right-handed, not left, I patterned my swing after him, my stance, and all that. So I was a big Mattingly fan. I get a lot of guff for liking the Yankees, though, for some reason. I don't know. You told me not to do this one, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to play a little game with the chat, and we're going to play, remember, whose line is it anyway? We're going to play whose jersey is it anyway? So I had to get a little creative. I mean, you might not guess them. The chat might help you out. Chat can help you out, but they're not new. These are older jerseys, and none of them are the ones that I used on the last stream. So, and there's one I know you better get right off the bat. And I wanted.
This might be the most boring segment ever, right here, bro. Because I got a mind like a steel sieve.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I'm not a memory person either, but just for the sake of nostalgia, I mean, I do have one piece of nostalgia I wanted to show you because I don't have a Vikings jersey, But I do have this little guy, a little Randy Moss figure for
Right on. Starting lineup figurine, Mr. Moss. He's in the tavern as well.
Gotta
His
love
twin.
it. I see the jersey. I was going to ask who your favorite all-time Viking is.
Tarkington.
Nice. I'm glad you went old school because I loved. He was so ahead of his time how he played the scrambling, the running, and the crazy throws. I mean,
I didn't get to see him a lot, Blaise. I mean, that was just before my time.
Yeah.
But, who my stepfather liked, and he was the one that got us closest to the promised land. So he's my favorite.
Yep, he got it. I understand that. All right, so we're going to start with a Buffalo Bill running back. Played for the Miami Hurricanes. I love this jersey, by the way, just the colors. Anybody in the chat? Buffalo
Thurman
Bills?
Thomas?
No. I think it's after Thurman. Although, man, the Bills were great back then. Unfortunately, losing a bunch of Super Bowls doesn't help, but I always say the argument, you got to make it to 4 Super Bowls to lose them, though, right?
Hell yeah. But
Miami Hurricanes. Not a lot of people know this guy. He got hurt, or else he would have done a lot better. Willis McGahee.
I remember him getting drafted in fantasy football.
Yes. He was big in fantasy for a while. Now, this guy.
So the weird thing about Viking fandom, Blaise, is they've been to 4 Super Bowls, right? But I became a fan the day that they went to their last Super Bowl. My parents went to that game. My father got free tickets from a guy. He did a roof for him in Big Bear, California. And when he got off the roof, the guy who was a Rams fan, who was the Vikings beat in the NFC Championship game, handed him the 2 Super Bowl tickets. And I didn't get to go. I got to go to Inglewood to a babysitter's and watch the game on a 13-inch black and white TV.
Oh.
So I became a fan of the Vikings the last time they were in a Super Bowl, the day they were in a Super Bowl. So it's been nothing but misery since.
I mean, I had some fond memories of a kid. One that sticks out is when Montana threw the touchdown, the catch in the end zone against the Cowboys. I can remember jumping upstairs on a couch. That's all I remember. And I have I was born in 73. So like right when the first 2 Steelers Super Bowls, I don't remember. I was just born. But 78 and 79, I do remember waving a little terrible towel. Actually, one of my towels is from back in 79, but that's so long ago. I mean, the weirdest thing, I mean, as a Steeler fan, I'm not one of those Steeler fans that are like, we're going to Super Bowl every year and all that shit. I know it's kind of hard now after having, the one thing I like to harp on is the coaches. Like, very rare do you have 3 coaches in 70 years or some shit. I mean, that's just insane. But I was going to have some Steeler jerseys here, but I just got a couple of them. Here's a Denver Bronco wide receiver, white boy.
Oh, crap.
White boy. This one I think.
McCaffrey? No.
Yeah, yes.
Yep, yeah.
McCaffrey. He was a nice little dart back in the day. A lot of these I got from secondhand stores, and you'll see one specifically that you'll know. This one's for you, Monstar out there. The New York Giants running back. These are all in the 90s and early 2000s, if anything.
Tiki Barber?
Yeah, Tiki Barber. Right off the bat. See, you got more than some of the other people got on these. I mean, they're not the most popular players. Some of them are a little obscure. Now, this one, everyone should get right away. And it's one of the greatest of all time. It's from a team that you don't really like, I'm sure, though.
Brett Favre?
Actually, this is from a secondhand store around here, and I've talked about this jersey a lot on some of the interviews, but it's Brett Favre. It's misspelled.
I love it.
$5. So this is what attracted Tom Grossi to my show when I was streaming. I went back and watched when he was doing his raids during his halftime when he raided me because it crashed my stream, and he's like, "Oh, this dude's opening cards." He goes, "Is that a Favre jersey? We're raiding him," because I had this hanging up in the back. Yeah, Brett Favre.
he'll never have to worry about raiding me, bro, because that ain't ever going to be hanging up in the back.
Goose Sports, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. Welcome in. So many great people in the chat, man. You guys are awesome. All right, 2 more to go. His son is probably going to be the #1 draft pick in the draft next year. He's playing for Ohio State, his son right now. I think it's his son.
Marvin Harrison.
Yes. You're doing better. You've done better than anyone's ever done in this game. Because you're going to get the last one, too. Last one, he went to the University of Pitt. Man, I would have loved to have him on the Steelers. He went to the damn Dallas Cowboys.
Emmett. No,
further back. Yep. You got it.
Touchdown guy.
Yep. It's on the tip of his tongue. You're like me.
Dorset.
Yes. Now, if I would have kept score the 3 or 4 times I played this game, you scored like twice as many as anybody has. Tony,
I don't know when you did it. I think it was when you did it with the Sports Fury.
Yeah,
I didn't know none of them mugs. I think it was because it was all basketball.
I did a bunch of hoops for them, but I know you're more into football, so I figured I'll do football ones I haven't done this time. So that was fun, something a little different. The new champ of whose jersey is it anyway over here. So we got one. That's right. Soak it in, man. We got one final segment, and this is a ball buster. I'm not making fun of I'm always making fun of everybody. It's what I do. But if you know someone who says at the end of the day, they probably say it a whole bunch. I know a couple people that once they get rolling, they continue at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, at the end of the day. So with my Wrestle Sense podcast, I started our final segment as called At the End of the Day. So when you do your final comment, you have to start it out with at the end of the day. So before we do that, another one I always like to dig into people when they bust my balls about it is to tell the truth, to be honest with you, not gonna lie. When people say that all the time, I go, so what? You normally lie? You got to remind us you're not lying.
if you've been in the sales business, they have classes about how not to talk to people how not to screw up, and that one is probably the biggest one. To be honest, they literally throw things at you if you say that. I mean, you can, a pen or a koozie or something thrown at your head if you say that in these classes.
Well, and if you know someone who does that, I don't know if it's a New York and Boston thing, or our man from Boston might say, but it seems like the Northeastern people with the at the end of the day, over here, forget about it and all that.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know what? It's not, I like to bust their balls, especially if they're saying it's the end of the day and it's like 1 o'clock. I'm like, it's not even close to the end of the day. What are you talking about? So we got one more segment. And we'll get our last thoughts here before we head out. But I want to give you a little information on how, if you can become a member here of the channel here on the Blaised Radio Network. And we support and we appreciate everyone. I always remind people, loyalty is currency. If you can't monetarily support the channel, hit the like, hit the share, and all that stuff. It's absolutely free. And we appreciate each and every one of you.
Your call again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.
We're sorry. The number you have reached has been disconnected.
I always want to bring out, like, I have this big brick phone from when I worked at Verizon. Someone turned in a brick phone. I always wanted to bring that out and be like, hello. We got some.
We had one of those in our Datsun pickup truck, bro. One of them big bricks.
At the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers is a weirdo. Busting balls. Oh, hold on a second.
All right, we ran him off, chat. Good job. Thank you so much. He didn't hear none of that. Oh, hey, what's up, Blaze?
I just realized I have it.
There it is. I remember those, bro.
That's an old school. There you go. That's a phone. This thing, the brick phone. This thing weighs a lot.
Yeah, that thing, there would be a mount inside your car that would sit on the bump in between the two front seats, and that
no,
would plug
kids,
in.
This is not a touch screen. It's not going to do anything but flash a number on it for you. It's like showing people the rotary phones that are out nowadays, and they're like, "How in the hell?" Did you ever see the video of the kids trying to use a rotary phone?
Absolutely. Well, even
All
the
right.
tones in your commercial that you just showed, the little segment you just had, that disconnect tone. Half these people in the chat have never heard that shit in their lives.
Everything on there, the busy signal. You can do the AOL Connect noise and all that shit, like all the stuff from the phone. People didn't have busy signals or operator voices and stuff.
CompuServe tone.
Times have been a changing. Now Paulie Dangerously used to carry one of these around. That's old school there. All right, let's get to the end of the day. All right, so we got one question before we get to the end of the day comment. And we've kind of touched this throughout the show. I do this all the time. So it's a little bit like a recap. It's a little bit like, what advice would you give to a new or growing content creator?
Don't do it. No, actually, that's kind of the
competition. If you don't do it, people, it's too difficult. Don't.
That's just the quick answer. But the real answer is don't do it unless you have a clear idea of what you're trying to accomplish. If your goal is to get into this and make a bunch of money, don't do it.
Exactly.
If your goal is to get into this and get 100,000 subscribers within like a year, don't do it. If your goal is to spend 2 hours a week doing a play-by-play stream, don't do it, because you're basically wasting your time, and there's nothing more important than time. But you better love it. If you decide to do it, you better love it and better be committed, because this shit will eat you alive if you do not.
Amen. That's such a great answer. I mean, it's like, see, this guy did his homework, and I said it wasn't fair, but it is fair. He's watched the other interviews to see what the content's like. I've kept it relatively the same, hoping for the Zach Morris phone. Thank you. Another good one. But that's a spot on answer. And the next question, before we get to the final segment, the final thing, I do want to share this again, because this is what's going down tonight. What's next for your channel? It's this. Tonight, we got a watch party live. There's a stream. Make sure you guys go check it out. What a great community you've built. I mean, I could already tell that your people were flooding into this before this stream started. There was like 10 likes before we even went live. So what you've done is amazing as far as a YouTube content creator, and you should be recommended for it, because of and commended for it, I should say, for the uniqueness and for the attitude you have towards not only the chat, but as this thing as a whole. All your answers are spot on. Everything you've said, I concur. You don't have to agree with people with everything and still have common knowledge about things. And I've noticed over these 3 years that you've caught on quick. You've done well with what you do, and you got fantastic people that are in your chats, man. You really do. We hear only bad stuff normally. This isn't working right. That isn't working right. So I want this channel to be, not just blowing smoke up someone's ass for the hell of it, but honestly, I've followed you for 3 years. You've come a long way in a short time and done a lot of hard work, and you deserve the praise that you get and all the success you're going to have in the future, my friend. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Well, we hope so. That's the goal, right? That's the goal. But I was about to start it right off right there, bro.
For me, though, before we get to the end of the day, I want to leave, I say, a digital footprint. When I'm not here on the earth anymore, I want to affect people as much as I can. And this gives us such a big reach. You could go out and preach, what you feel on a street corner or in a group. But here we have a worldwide reach to make a difference, to make people's lives better, to make people happier, forget about all the shit they're going through in the real world. And I see you do that on a regular basis. And I wish you years and years and years to continuous to do this. And whether you're streaming every day, if you keep doing this for a year, I'm pretty confident you're going to have one of them silver buttons behind you someday, brother. I really do. And whether
I appreciate it, Blaise. I appreciate it. I'm rooting for you as well, bro. I'm rooting for you as well.
My health has finally come better to where I could do 4 or 5 streams a week. I was locked down to only 1 or 2 a week, and that was the most I could do. So within my health, and everyone out there, whatever you're dealing with, hopefully people like Jeff and myself can help take that away from you for a little bit. Losing a loved one, having a sickness and ailment, not being able to do something, just having anxiety or depression. Hopefully we can help you with that, just even if it's for a couple minutes or a couple hours on a stream. So it's time to break it down. Final comment, and you have to start it with at the end of the day. It's on you, Valhalla.
So at the end of the day, y'all, this YouTube thing, just do what makes you happy. You have to get into it, do what makes you happy. But the key for me, I think the biggest mistake I made, did I say at the end of the day? I guess I did. But I guess the biggest thing I would caution people not to do if they are getting into this is make sure to lock in exactly what you want to do. Don't make it too broad. I know people say that now all the time, but if you're trying to get a channel that's going to grow and it's going to grow quickly, you better narrow it down to something simple, because it can't be what I think Blaise and I are trying to do, where we try to do multiple things at once. You have to pick one thing and then focus in on that, because there's a lot of I guess a battle going on always with my channel, in that I'll do a ton of Dodger games. I do almost 100 Dodger games a year. And then the moment I go to do the Viking game, which is why I started the channel, then I lose subscribers. Or if I go to do a Laker game, then I lose subscribers. So try to keep it, if you're going to start a channel, if that's what this interview series is about, trying to teach people what not to do or what to do on YouTube, narrow it down and focus on that one small thing. You can't have 4 teams that you do. You can't have, I mean, you can do whatever you want. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to do, if your goal is to be 100,000 subscriber channel, or to make, thousands and thousands of dollars a year on YouTube, you better keep it very simple, short, and sweet. That's the end of my Jeff talk.
It was funny because you were like, did I say at the end of the day? I was going to say, you just did. And then you said it again. So very, very well put, as always, through the whole stream. I knew this was going to be fun. I knew it was going to be great information, not only for me and Valhalla, for you guys in the chat as well. If you guys are out there thinking of starting a YouTube channel, reach out to people that have tried it. Reach out to people like us. My ears, they're huge. I'm always listening. Check me out. If I can help somebody with a little advice here and there. I'm not perfect. I've made tons of mistakes. You've heard him even admit. And that's what I love about it. You say the one thing I've done wrong, or the things that I've learned from. That's why we're here. We want to help everyone else out there and have some fun. And like Rick Logan puts it very eloquently, at the end of the day, never piss in the wind. And I appreciate
a lot of that.
All the great, man, all the great people talking about. Thanks for how you're always welcome. And we'll be, I hope to see you, some people from this community over there for the NASCAR, for the All-Star game, for the Home Run Derby, and for the football season coming up. So we talking to a Vikings fan today. How we feel about running back number 1, Madison. Oh, you got a question from the chat from my boy after the huddle.
It's going to be in our running back by committee after the huddle. Madison is going to get the majority of the carries, but watch for Tyson Chandler, running back out of North Kakalaki.
Nice. Awesome. Great stuff, man. From start to finish. At the end of the day, never wear a low-cut top when eating. Oh, come on. So late.
Oh, do that. Do that.
Well, that's it, man. This I always say, it's going to be an hour interview, and then I talk for a half an hour and blab, and then we get to shooting the shit, and it always ends up about 2 hours. But get ready, folks. In about 45 minutes or so, you got your stream. 6:45.
In 2 weeks, you got Pete on getting interviewed.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to twist some stuff up. I know he was in here lurking and finding out what we do. So I'm gonna have to twist and turn some stuff and bring something new. And
you want to see something about someone overcoming adversity? Watch that stream in 2 weeks, y'all, with Pete McDevitt.
Yeah, and all the streams he does, we've talked about sports watch-alongs. He's big into Disney stuff too, and I can't wait to learn more about some of the stuff that he does over there and future ones. I'm just going to dig into some more people. I've asked some quote-unquote really big YouTubers and never got any responses from, but I just want to concentrate on people that are, real. That's pretty much.
I've got a good one for you too. Jot this down. Fourth Quarter Sports. He's asked to be interviewed by you, Blaise.
Sweet. I'm going to have to reach out.
Big Zig at Fourth Quarter Sports.
I got tons of people that I'd love to interview. I try to keep them on Sundays, so and try to find a spot where the other person can definitely do it. But this is the second series. I'm probably going to bring back more next year again. I'll be doing football in the fall though, so the Red Zone streams will be back. I might have to step up my OBS game, man. I might have to pick your brain. You do amazing shit over there, bro.
Streamlabs, bro.
And you have some great stuff, what you're doing on your show, and I appreciate it. Everything you've done, Jeff. More power to you. I've said it before. I'll say it again. We all here at the Blaised Radio Network wish you the best. Keep on doing what you're doing, and big things will come. I appreciate you being on the stream and hanging out with us for a couple minutes.
Thanks for having me on, Blaise. It was fun, man. It was fun. Had a good time.
Hey, and I'll see everybody in the streams because y'all just got blazed. We are out of here.
Peace.
Get blazed. Get blazed. Blaze. Blaze.